If your New Year's resolution is to get in shape, well, of course, raise your hand. I think most of us probably have that somewhere on our list. And the truth is, there are a lot of options out there that you can choose from to find the path that's right for you. Dr. Tim deRoos is on this morning. He would love to be one of those options that you are considering at Infinite Health Systems. So good to see you.
Great to see you too.
So you and I have talked bazillions of times. And when I said get in shape, it really, you begin with weight loss, but from that, people get in shape, not just physically, but you see mental healing too, don't you, with people?
Yeah, you do. It's, it's a journey of the mind, getting yourself out of fat storage into fat burning. And this time of year, you've said many times that people try to do it on their own. They they hit the gym, and when they experience some plateauing or failure, they're wondering, well, what other options do I have? What can I do to make this really work and keep it off?
So you said you wanted to kind of, I think I heard you, focus a little bit this morning on what it is that makes you unique. Is that right?
Yeah, we educate in the office, but here I wanted to separate us from the other options that are out there, because there are weight loss surgeries that they don't have the best track record and success rate long term. The injectables are on the scene now. And what a lot of people don't understand about the injectables is you will lose weight, but it's not going to be in the tissue form that you desire. Most of the weight loss is in lean muscle mass and not white fat loss.
So what does that mean?
So those drug classes slow down your stomach emptying, increase insulin production from the pancreas, and what that does is it can cause gastroparesis, pancreatitis, and it actually keeps you from being hungry. So it's a different approach to keep you from being hungry, like some of the phentermines of the past, right?
So I can be kind of thick-headed. I mean, I can be smart sometimes, but I can be pretty dense too. So maybe I'm stuck in something that's wrong. But if you do something, I think if you have a lot of weight to lose, I can certainly see where somebody would want something to help them get a jump start. That makes a lot of sense to me. But if you don't address the underlying cause of why you have the weight to lose, how do you then feel like you're empowered? I would think you would want to feel like you've conquered something, not that you need something.
And I think that's why a lot of people go after the injectables, because it reduces their duty load, if you will, right? Because you will get some weight loss on the scale. You will see the number go down, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee you're going to keep it off long term if you don't get yourself healthier. Because as you well know, a healthy body will burn fat and store much less.
I mean, I've talked to a lot of people, we've done this for a number of years, that have come to you. First of all, it's always really kind of made me scratch my head, the variety of people who come to you for a variety of reasons. It is not a formula there. It also has really, I've been impressed with the people when they talk about what their weight loss, they beam. Like you can tell they're proud of themselves, because it's almost like they have a new way of approaching their day.
Well, I think the word you used earlier is very appropriate, empowerment. People are empowered when they're educated. When you have knowledge, you have power. So when you learn how to hydrate properly, when you learn what your menu should look like, when you learn what your portioning should look like, when you learn what pH balancing looks like for you as an individual, when you learn what hormones may need to be balanced, that empowers someone, because those are the basic fundamental pieces of raising a metabolic rate.
Okay, on the hormone side of it, as we go through life, I have a couple of minutes left, our hormones do shift and change. So midlife, if you will, you see that pudge begin for an awful lot of us, and it's hard. The things you've done in the past aren't working anymore. So is that where if somebody comes to you, you're kind of testing that stuff?
I don't test those hormone levels directly, because most people have a primary care physician. They're getting those values done in blood work. But we look at feeding the organs where the trouble begins. Thyroid, for instance, maybe someone has had a full hysterectomy and they noticed right after that surgery that, boy, they started to pack it around the midline area. And those are the kind of things people need help with, because for a woman, she's going to have to make hormones somewhere, and it's usually the liver. Well, if the liver is overloaded with toxins, she's going to struggle making her female hormones.
And what's making the liver overloaded with toxins?
Food supply.
The types of foods you eat.
Processed foods, refined foods, that's right. Because the liver is the oil filter of the body. Think of it that way.
Okay.
So if you decongest and clean up your liver, that's going to be your fat burning friend.
You know, usually, I only have a minute left with you, and usually in January, you and I talk a long time. So we just have to make our resolution be that you'll come back in February to get more into the weeds with it all, because it's really an interesting concept, but when you go to see him at Infinite Health Systems, you're talking with people at no charge to them for a pretty lengthy time, right?
Up to an hour.
To help them understand what they're going to be doing and make sure they're signing on and understanding it.
Right. Because someone who's not confused, they're not frozen. A confused mind is a frozen mind. So if they understand what they're up against and what they have to do, green light.
Okay. Here's where you'll find him. It's in Cleveland. His website's easy. It's drdeRoos.com.
Bingo.
The phone number is 813-7575. He's right there in this cute little neighborhood in Cleveland on Sunset Drive. Call him. Let this be your year that you feel empowered. Thank you.
Thank you.